For more on the challenges facing Chinatown districts, we're joined now by Anthony Chan. He's a former chief economist at the financial firm JP Morgan Chase. Happy New Year, Anthony. Good to see you.
Happy New Year's to you.
Thank you. So we hear story after story of Chinatowns across the country suffering during the pandemic. By your estimation, how bad is it?
It's been pretty bad. In fact, a very fascinating study was done by On and Mar, and they showed that the Chinatowns across the United States basically were hit much harder, certainly initially, than other businesses, and that has not really lifted yet. So there are many reasons for that, but the Chinatowns have been very severely impacted. And of course, Yelp tells you that many of the businesses that you find in Chinatowns, like restaurants and small retailers, have been very severely impacted. To be sure, Yelp estimates that close to 60% or more of those businesses that have closed will not be able to reopen. My hope and expectation is that that will not be the case in Chinatowns, but I don't think we can underestimate how severe the impact has been.
60% may not open back. That's quite staggering. So the ones that are still surviving, how do you see them bouncing back?
Well, the way that they are surviving is that their costs, to some extent, have gone down. You hear a lot of businesses or restaurants in Chinatown that have been able to benefit from lower rents. They've also benefited from deliveries. So they are surviving with lower costs. But even with the lower costs, the profits are squeezed, and it has been a real challenge. Now, the good news is that we do have a vaccine. We have two of them. Several more are coming into the market. And so when people see that the fear or the risk of the pandemic is lifting, I think we will see that many of these businesses that are surviving will get a little bit stronger. But still, it will be a long road ahead.
Yeah, it's all about adaptation. But even before the pandemic, Anthony, many Chinatowns were already threatened, really, wouldn't they?
Yes, that's been a problem for many years, as you've seen transformations in the United States. The type of businesses and the places that people go to have changed over time. But again, because so many of these businesses have been destroyed, my hope and expectation is that we will see a rebirth. And we are. The good news is starting to see campaigns of people trying to revitalize these cities to protect their identities. Today begins the Year of the Ox, and of course, many people in my neighborhood, including myself, made it our purpose to go to Chinese restaurants to bring food home to celebrate the Year of the Ox. And I hope more people are doing that.
Yes, I hope so too. And also, there is this phenomenon of a rise of a secondary Chinatown, isn't there? In New York, they went from Canal Street to Flushing, Queens. Here in D.C., they've left downtown for Rockville, Maryland. Is that second wave and a rebirth as well?
Yes, that is. And in fact, my father, when he came to the United States, lived in New York City's Chinatown, Canal Street. But I've been to the Chinatown in Queens, in New York, and of course we now have one in Brooklyn. So we are starting to see Chinatown branching out, because as populations grow and curiosity from tourists increases, those Chinatowns need to be expanded. But again, with the expansion of these Chinatowns comes the problem that whenever we have these issues or pandemics, and you see a cutback and you see more supply, that creates a problem also.